Tuesday, hello, you're welcome to it. And that means it's time for our legal segment on Mansfield Today. Advocate Lance Brogden, good day to you.
And to you, Jim.
Nice to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me here, bud.
You wanted to discuss intellectual property rights today.
Yeah, it's quite a big word, intellectual, in our case.
Rights is even a big word in our... Marmalade's a big word in our case. But firstly, define intellectual property rights.
Right, so they're intangible rights that you have, and I'll get to it now, that are extremely valuable, and they relate, by example, makes it easier, to copyrights, patents, author's rights. So it's intangible, you can't feel it and touch it, but it's a right that you have and belongs to you. And most importantly, you should guard it very closely and jealously.
But then how do you go about, everyone talks about patents. Somebody says, yeah, I've just invented this thing, and they say, you should patent that. How do you go about patenting something?
Right, so a few steps. One is, and this is not an easy answer, get a good patent attorney to work with you. There are very strict protocols and processes, not difficult, but if you do it wrong, your potential patent and your product and your intellectual property might be lost. So there are three types of patents. The one is, for want of easy language, an interim patent. It's while you are developing what you're going to do. So you're going to do this widget, it's going to be unique. While you're developing it, straight away, get your foot in the door. Okay? And it's very important now to tell you that lasts for 12 months. Okay. Within the 12 months, you have to then come up with the full product, your full patent, object, widget, whatever it is. So, and that's the second one. The third one is an internationally based one where you demarcate South Africa particularly in it. It's not that important, it's just a protocol. But very importantly, the first one, when you're underway with it, during your process, you might find a few other parts, developments, a few tails that come with it. Do them as well. Put that interim patent in. It's in procedure.
Okay, well then what are the very basics that make a patent valid? And there must be some basic things.
Yeah. Okay, so firstly, it must not be obvious. If it's something totally obvious, people out there know about it, it happens, then it's not going to. So it must be unique and special.
That's pretty obvious, I would imagine.
It's extremely obvious. Yeah, it's this time of the year.
Yeah.
This time of the year, if I may, just divert for a second. So what happens is, I always, all this with COVID and everybody getting ill and so many things happening, I was wondering, when I was a kid, when we were youngsters, people passed away for only three reasons. In principle, one was natural causes, you're old.
Yeah.
Two, in the military. We were all in the military.
Right.
And thirdly, when you spoke back to your parents. So the three ways we lost. Nowadays, the whole world has changed.
Yeah, true.
Okay, but back to patents.
Back to basics.
So the first, it mustn't be something obvious and out there. The second thing is, it's quite important, is that when you apply, it may be something you haven't seen before, but it may well be in the secret of the state. So it's out there, it's being tested, etc. Then you will not succeed with your patent. Those are the two big areas. But let me tell you what cannot be patented. The following things you can't patent. A scientific theory, a mathematical formula, you can't patent those. Something aesthetic, you can't patent that. It's got to be real, hard, robust, and a scheme. For example, any scheme or a thing you think up, like how to invest money in a certain way, you can't patent those at all. So it's got to be something tangible, hard, and unique and special. Even a thing like a presentation. Some people do amazing presentations. Why you find so many of them on the internet is because you can't patent a presentation. There might be something in the content that is patented, and they'll talk about it. But the presentation itself, the process, the diagram, you can't patent.
How long does the patent last in South Africa, Lance?
Right, so Jim, it lasts 20 years.
Okay.
And that's quite important. However, this is where people make a faux pas. And please remember this. After 3 years, you have to reconfirm your patent. Small payment. So it's 20 years, but you have to reconfirm it. especially if you're not using it. So you can patent something, put it in the box, and hope to God somebody's going to buy it for a fortune, which is usually what people do with patents. They find a big corporate that can really use it as part of their product offering. But although it lasts for 20 years, after 3 years, you have to keep confirming your application in place, and you pay for that.
Okay, how does one register a copyright thing?
Aha. So copyright, and most of you know the little C with a circle around it and a date, and it says copyrighted. Remember, it's not copywritten, copyrighted. And sometimes you can put the name in it or pending copyright. Okay, that's all you have to do in essence, is take a C and a circle, because in essence, anything that you do, that you write, you produce is yours. It belongs to you. And with that comes a bundle of rights. We call it the bundle of rights. The bundle of rights means you could make more copies of it. You could produce it in public. You can add additions to it, like book 2, book 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. You have a bundle of rights with it. You can make a movie with it. So anything that comes that you have done, automatically you have a copyright on it. And the author's right is the same. You, the author of it, you have a natural copyright. It's written. You don't have to go and register it, put it down, put a C around it, and it's yours.
So that's the same with copyrights and authors' rights?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, now, I want to go back to patenting once again. I forgot to ask you this earlier. It's that time of the year. I've got something patented, okay? But suddenly, a ship from China arrives, and it's full of the thing that I've got patented.
Yep.
What's the position there?
Well, this has been the big challenge, Jim. So, we can go back to the Berne Convention a couple of 100 years ago, Paris Convention. There are numerous conventions where people or countries join the convention and say, we are part of this, we will respect each other's patents. However, a lot of countries did not join those conventions. Okay, so they are free to do what they like. And a lot of countries don't give a crap, to tell you the truth. And we know some of them that we just mentioned now. They will produce anything. The problem is they're producing them better and better all the time,
And cheaper and cheaper.
And cheaper and cheaper. So this, I'll give you an example. This looks like a perfectly handsome Rolex watch, deep sea. It's heavy as hell, it's got everything.
But it's got 2 L's.
Funny enough, it doesn't even get that wrong. Even the small details. So, one of my pilot friends brought it to me from Singapore. Okay, and it's worth very little. It's actually worth very, very little. And they can do it, and people are doing it. So it is a problem. So that's why the importance of your patent, your actual code, the depth of it, the detail, and having it registered and put an international registration. However, I fear a lot of the stuff is just copied, and it goes ahead in millions and millions and millions of items.
Okay, let's look at these combined intellectual property rights. If you're wanting to register one of them, what are the most important things you should keep in mind?
Yeah, okay, so I think the first thing is you might not have something that's special, because it's special to you and you think it is. But Jim...
And Tannie and Opa and almal sê, jong, jy slim.
Lang al terug. So first thing is, that's why you do a lot of investigation. Do the research. Go to the patent office. Remember, the patent office won't do the research for you and tell you this, you got a good thing or not. The attorney you're using, the patent attorney, the patent lawyer, and yourself. Check, and also use a bit of common sense. There's not that much new out there. So, and I had a friend, I'll mention his name, he was a super guy at university at Stellenbosch, Denzel Waits, and he was quite an inventor of things. His whole focus was and he got an envelope. Now, if you know the way an envelope works, so you used to use those openers, you put them inside and slide it open.
Yeah.
And he took a piece of dental floss and he put it in the top of the fold of the envelope. So when you had your envelope, you could just tear it open. And we thought, yes, Denzel, jy's baie slim, my seun. Baie trots op jou. But however, it's been around for yonks. A year later I was in Paris and a lot of things open like that. So the point is research, get a good attorney, but if you do have something, the last thing I'll share with you is keep it to yourself and your attorney and maybe your wife. But don't tell anybody else, because Once it's out there and your process is underway, there are guys with a lot more money than you and I who will jump on, grab it, and make it work.
Lance, thank you for that.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. It's been a nice start to Mansfield today. Not quite a year old, but we've progressed from strength to strength, thanks to people like you. And may you and your family have a good, peaceful break and a happy new year. And we'll catch you back on air on the 11th of January.
Jim, I look forward to that. And to everybody out there, thanks for supporting us. You blew us away with the support that came through. Thank you very, very much. And Jim, thanks to you. Well done. Big step, great career. I'm very proud of you. And it's an honor just to be part of this family. Thank you.
That's it from Mansfield today. We'll catch you again tomorrow with our medical show. Bye-bye.